Good morning. Welcome to the month of the gift of mystery. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, the gift of mystery. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, the gift of mystery, the gift of mystery.
Good morning. I want to thank the young adults for decorating the chancel. Someone said to me, "What's a chancel?" That's this area up here. The word altar was for sacrifices, and since we don't lay animals down to offer up to the gods, this is not the altar, this is the chancel. Okay, so the chancel is decorated by our young adults. Let's give them a hand. William gave you a standing ovation. Thank you very much, William. I want to give you all my own standing ovation for how many of you showed up both online and in person yesterday. There were about 40 of you in person and about 10 of you online. Great work for the big, I call it the B4 workshop. What is the whole breaking barriers, building beliefs? See, I teach it, but I don't. I call it B4. So, we have an amazing guest with us today. Reverend Patrice Curtis is the UUA's, listen to this great title, Transformational Interim Ministries Director, Reverend Patrice Curtis, who is also one of my favorite people and a mentor of mine, and they collaborate with and support transitional ministers and religious educators in amplifying belonging, diversity, equity, and inclusion with congregations, and in challenging unhealthy patterns that make beloved community difficult to realize. Now, for any of you who've read any of the stuff coming out of the interim ministry team, right, and said, where did those words come from? Did you just hear them in the description of Reverend Patrice's job, right? Right? So those are words that are being used in our faith pretty often. I also will make my pitch. Ryan, thanks for the great announcement about solstice. We're expanding how we do solstice around here to make it much more of a multi-age kind of thing. So bring your friends and family to that, and you're going to get an email this week with some sign-ups. We need more helpers. I think we'll need some people to just sort of be flexible helpers, like, hey, as long as the weather's good enough, the senior high is doing a bonfire, so how do you get there? And the path out there is a little wonky, so can some people be around to help and things like that. And I asked the coming of age kids to make it look like I set a runway of luminaries outside. So, they might need more help with that. And I want you to bring all of your cash so that you can buy luminaries from them, and help them out and stuff like that. And we're gonna do up that event a little different this year because we really want it to be one of those things like a lot of other churches where Solstice becomes a real point to bring in the community, and it becomes kind of an invitational kind of thing, so much more of an all ages kind of event. I also need a few more story readers for our video service, because Mari talked me into doing another one of those video Christmas story services, and I was like, last year's was so good, can't we just send it out again? And she said no, so this year, Natalie Krestev, if you don't know her, she's in the second row here, is helping with some of the curating of the stories and some of the organization because I can't do everything all the time. And so she's been helping some with that, but I need a few more readers. A lot of the stories this year are a little longer, so I need you to read part A, and someone else will read B, and then Mari will help link them together. And we want some new voices, people who haven't done one. So that's always a fun thing. We email it out on Christmas Eve day or that kind of thing, because we're only doing one service on Christmas Eve, between Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So that's pretty exciting. During Advent, I saw a lot of my Christian minister friends all talking about the first week of Advent is the light of hope. And I'm like, yeah, that's the Christian way. And that's nice, but I am a Unitarian Universalist minister, so I like to do old school Advent, which means I like to go back not 2,000 years, but 5,000 years, right? Because I like to go back to the pagan version of Advent, because I want my Jewish friends, and I want my gentle atheists to feel comfortable, and I want all of my Wiccan and my goddess believing and, everyone else to feel kind of into it. So we do this very old tradition where we celebrate the sun, S-U-N child, and we build this Advent scene. So a lot of you were given a bit of nature, and if you didn't get some, later on I'll have the ushers, raise their hands, and I'm sure some kids and stuff will help you get a piece of that. But that's where our Advent tradition that we've done, I was gonna not do it again, because it's something I love, but a bunch of people asked if we could do it again this year. So we're gonna do it again, and I love that Allison has learned the song and will teach you the song, and who knows, maybe it'll be something you do again after I leave or not, I don't know. Maybe it'll just be the thing you did with that interim minister, what was her name? And who knows, right? So I just want to thank you for indulging me in this tradition that I've done with my family, and maybe it'll be something you do to bring Advent home. Speaking of which, we sent out a Bring Advent Home kind of little outdoor Advent calendar, and we'll do some more things with that. And I'm delighted that we now get to do a service, and I get to do one together. You get 2 ministers today. How fun is that, right? So let's go on an adventure today, an adventure of waiting, and an adventure of belonging. And I didn't know how we would do Advent and diversity, and when the search team told me this was the date, I was like, I don't know how we'll ever do that. And then when they said Reverend Patrice was coming, I'm like, we're all good. It's all gonna work out great. It's gonna be awesome. I have no idea how it's gonna be awesome. So let's go on an awesome adventure today. We go right into the chalice lighting. This is what happens when I'm the worship associate. I don't know what's going on. All right. So Reverend Patrice is going to light our chalice for me today. So I'm going to ask you to repeat the words that are in bold. So I will say them once, and then I'll say them again to you, and you will repeat those. So the first line I say, and the second line you're going to say. So cupped in earth's embrace, light of love, light of love, alive in all creation. As we kindle this flame, we rekindle our connection to the sacred web of life.
Isn't it wonderful to come into our beautiful sanctuary and find it bedecked with greens? And so I invite you to rise in body and spirit and join in the singing of hymn number 235, Deck the Halls.
The board and the interim transitions team are reviewing a proposal, I told you this last week, to remove one reference to the congregation's covenant as a way to lift up the importance of our relationship with the interconnected web so that it would include perhaps animals and plants and other beings that are important. So this proposal is being brought to the board, and this won't change anything about the mission proposal or anything like that, and we're not going to stop saying the covenant in service. So we're just trying it out to see how it feels. And so Luis has the slide this week for us that will say, we unite, and we're going to try it out. So ready? We're going to try the new one. See if you can do it without the first one. I know it's committed to memory, but we're going to try it, okay? So, go. We unite to strengthen the bonds of kinship among all, to promote human dignity, and to increase reverence for life's sustain, and transforming power through worship, study, and service. All right. Can come up. Y'all can sit down. All right. William's ready. William, you got to face me. Me and Patrice are going to sit on the stairs here. Me and Reverend Patrice are going to sit on the stairs. And all the kiddos, come on up. Do we have any? Did any come today? All right. We're going to sit here. What? Someone help us back up? I bet they will. Okay. So this Sunday marks the beginning of Advent. Does anyone know what the term Advent means? It's Latin for that which is coming. It's a time of preparation. It's a time, let's see, I think I might put this one up. Hold on. How's that? Okay. Killer. There we go. No. The term Advent How is that? Marks the beginning. And it's Latin for that which is coming. It's a time of preparation and waiting. How do you feel about waiting? So, Keegan. Yeah. Yeah. Quinn's like, no, I don't like waiting. Depends what you're waiting for. Tell me your name. I don't know your name. Miles. Yeah. So what things can you wait for? Christmas. Oh. So right now, it gets dark really early, right? Yeah. I hate that. Yeah. Okay, keep the treasure chest quiet over there, darling. All right, so we're waiting for the light to come back for solstice, and we're going to celebrate that here on December 15th, all right? For thousands of years, 2,000 years, it was about waiting for Jesus. They've kind of taken that over. And before that, it was for waiting for the Sun, S-U-N, to return.
There are many traditions to celebrate and deepen our experience of waiting for light. Although you might miss them if you allow your December to be overtaken by, shopping and sales and Black Friday and spending or doing too much running around. Instead, watch for the magic of the season.
Now, I love Advent calendars. This is one. If you want to look at it, you can look at this one. Who can I trust here? You're untrustworthy? Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I have one Advent calendar here that needs 3 windows open, number 1, 2, and 3. You may not open beyond that. So who can I trust to open a 1, to 2, and pass it to a 3? Okay? So you can do 1 and then pass it to someone else and do a 3. So I love unusual ones. I like ones that reveal art. I never had a candy one when I grew up. They did, and if they did make those, they were really cheap and gross candy that you wanted to spit out, and they were really, now they have like fancy candy ones, right? What's up with that? And this tea thing, and there's like the jam and the coffee and the candles. What's all that about? Do we really need all that stuff? Yeah? All right. All right. There's dogs. Who has an elf on the shelf? You do? Okay. Jeannie Scown has an elf on the shelf. 2. You must be extra naughty. She is. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Now, when I jettisoned myself out of Catholicism, Reverend Patrice here is making sure they're finding the right window and not opening my entire calendar.
No, we're not.
You're not?
But
okay.
we're only going to open 3.
Okay.
They might not be the right 3.
It wasn't that expensive. So I never thought I'd want to go back to Advent candles and calendars, but I do. And we're going to play Advent today. Okay, they're still playing. Reverend Patrice has a part. It's fun, right? Thank you. You can show these to kids. Right? Good job. Right? Yeah, that's a tree. Okay. Reverend Patrice, your turn.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was too busy playing.
I know, she's playing. They're playing. That's very, very busy.
Yes. Some of our UU siblings get confused about what order the candles go in. Does anyone know?
Someone in back knows.
Yeah? Shout it out.
Yay!
You might get, yesterday we gave double stars. You might get triple stars for that. Yes, thumbs up in the back. Today, actually, why doesn't everybody say that? Did you hear it? It's very fun to say. Purple, purple, pink, purple.
Purple, purple, pink, purple.
Nice. It is a tongue twister. Today, we processed in carrying one lantern with a purple ribbon for Advent. Each week, as we travel through Advent, children representing that week of Advent will join Reverend Denise. Don't forget to have your grown-ups sign you up.
You can be the Advent children.
Yeah?
When my son was a toddler, we did this, and we built this kind of Advent scene each week. And every night at dinner, we would light the candles, we would say the poem that we're going to do here, and I was introduced to this older, cooler, more retro version of Advent, right? The countdown to the sun, S-U-N, and I can't wait for the sun. I don't know about you, right? And that's what we're celebrating with solstice. And so the Earth Mother version, which we shared last year at Countryside, I was asked to bring back this year. And so we learned the benefit of having something to look forward to and something to wait for. What are you all waiting for? What are you looking forward to right now? Anyone? You're waiting for presents under the tree. Okay. What else? Quinn? Winter break. Cousins coming over. Good, good. Anything else, anyone? No. Snow? No. I'm looking forward to sleeping in on Christmas Day. That's the benefit of having a teenager. So we are in this giant time of wondering when it is coming. Whatever the it is for you. You know, and that might be a grown-up it. It might be like, will they come? Will I be lonely? Will they call? Will they get along? Will the food turn out? Right? What is your it?
In your congregation, the it might be focused on the coming of a new minister. Yesterday, we talked about the new minister search. Right now, you are preparing your hearts, and much like preparing the soil for a garden full of mulch and humus, before you plant anything, that soil is important, yet it might not be where you turn your full attention to. You might just be thinking about the seeds. You might just be thinking about your watering when you will do that. The changes in your hearts before the holidays or before a new minister comes are wildly important. It's like preparing for Santa to come without cleaning the house, decorating, cooking, making lists, baking cookies, and anything else that you need to prepare for that wonderful day.
I wonder what the thing, the relationship, what is in your heart that you are waiting for? What is your countdown? Is it something fun, like a trip or someone coming to visit? Is it something you're concerned about? What is the thing you are waiting for? Is it a worry like a test result or losing abilities as you age? Is it something your heart is heavy with? Is it loss of a connection with the loved one? Is it worry? Are you worried about the loss of a friend? Has anyone lost a friend or someone to sit with at school? Yeah. Do you want to share your worry or no, you're just worried? You want to share your worry? What is your worry? my heart is breaking. So his wife Sarah is getting really old, so they don't get to
So he has a little friend who's aged out of preschool, is now in kindergarten, and he misses her. And occasionally he gets to see her at school when they're passing their lines together. Oh.
Anyone else want to share a word? Quinn? Yeah. So a friend kept getting invited at school, and they had to leave their lunch table because it just got too much. We'll just. Am I off? No, of course I'm not off now. Now it works. That's hilarious. I don't know. It's funny. So Quinn said that they kept getting in fights at lunch, and they finally had to leave the lunch table because it was just too much. So that's their worry. So we all have different worries that happen, right? We all hold those in our hearts, and sometimes that's our wonder. Will it get better? Will it not? So sometimes we count down to a break. Sometimes there's no countdown, right? Will it ever get better? Will something happen? Will the times shift? Maybe you worry about staying healthy for the holidays, or getting your home or your heart ready. Maybe your countdown has an end date, and maybe it's unknown. Some countdowns are challenging, and some are fun. Try to give yourself some of each, you know? Sometimes it's good to challenge yourself to learn something. Sometimes it's fun to just give yourself a good challenge, like, when will I see a certain bird come back in the spring? Right? When will I see a blue sky next? The trick is to look at all of them like liminal times and use those times to work on your spiritual self. So on Friday, we shared an outdoor Advent calendar in the e-news. I hope you saw it. And use your Advent to spur yourself into a new place in your mind and heart.
So this year, we invite you again to have an Advent. It could be a time to meditate each day, a time to challenge yourself to learn a new tool, a time to reach out to someone whom you have avoided in coffee hour. Because I know we all do that thing. We encourage you to come up with a whole list of things you can count down in Advent. Not because you're waiting for a God to appear, not because it's Christmas, but because you are preparing your heart anew in this time of the year when darkness is inviting you into rebirth.
Today we share a verse as we create our Advent display, and that we will build on each week. The first light of Advent is the light of stone, stones that live in crystals, seashells, and bones. And so now we invite our children first and then our grown-ups to add stones and shells or bits of bones and calcified treasures from our walks to our Advent scene. And Allison is going to teach us our Advent song, and we will sing it over and over until we're all done adding our treasures as we prepare our scene. And so if anybody needs a treasure to add to the Advent scene, just raise your hand and some of the ushers and stuff. We'll get them some, and some of the kids don't have some, so if people could go grab those buckets. I see people coming in with the Advent treasures in the back there, and we'll make sure you have some. Oop, I see the Johnsons just popped in. Yep, here comes the Advent treasures. If you need some, yep, they'll get you some. And you can put the Advent treasures anywhere in the scene. We added more little cubbies and spaces, so you can put them anywhere you want. Yep. And Quinn, I'm going to have go light the one purple candle in the Advent candles. And Allison's going to start our song.
The first light of Advent is the light of stones, light that lives in seashells, in crystals, and in bones. The first light of Advent is the light of stones, light that lives in seashells, crystals, and in bones. The last light, Advent is the light of stones, light that lives in seashells, in crystal, and in bones.
Let your body sink into the chair, into the couch, into the floor. Feel yourself supported by Mother Earth. Notice your breath. We have gathered here this morning in the vast expanse of the cosmos. Nothing more than a speck, and yet enlivened by being together. We are bound by our shared humanity, our shared capacity for love, compassion, reason, and understanding. We are a tapestry of experiences, beliefs, perspectives, yet interconnected with each other and with all living beings. In this season of reflection and anticipation, may we illuminate and celebrate those common threads. We acknowledge our imperfections, our struggles, our failures. Yet those will not define us. From our deep commitments, we are capable of extraordinary change. We are resilient. We are adaptable. From the privilege of being here together, may we extend our hands and hearts to all in this season, those who have been left out. May all have a sustaining life of satisfaction. May we together take a deep breath in and let it out. And in the experience of that breath, let us give thanks for all that is our life. May it be so. Our reading this morning is from Laura Ann Hershey. Ms. Hershey was a white poet, journalist, feminist, and a disability rights activist and consultant. Known to have parked her wheelchair in front of buses, Hershey was one of the leaders of a protest against the paternalistic attitudes and images of people with disabilities inherent to Jerry Lewis's MDA telethon. She had spinal muscular atrophy. Her poem was called What You Risk Telling Your Story. What do you risk telling your story? You will bore them. Your voice will break, your ink spill and stain your coat. No one will understand. Their eyes become fences. You will park yourself forever on the outside, your differentness once and for all revealed, dangerous. The names you give to yourself will become epithets. Your happiness will be called bravery, denial. Your sadness will justify their pity. Your fear will magnify their fears. Everything you say will prove something about their God or their economic system. Your feelings that change day to day, kaleidoscopic, will freeze in place, brand you forever, justify anything they decide to do with you. Those with power can afford to tell their story or not. Those without power risk everything to tell their story and must. Someone, somewhere, will hear your story and decide to fight, to live, and refuse compromise. Someone else will tell her own story, risking everything.
Good morning. I'm Gary Lebetz, and my pronouns are he and him. And this morning I'm here representing the stewardship team. And before we receive the morning offering, I'd like to say a few words about our Giving Tuesday campaign here at Countryside Church. So far, we've received $14,000 from about 48 households. That's fantastic. That's a good job. And if you're one of those 48 households, thank you very much. But we're still short of our $25,000 goal. If you haven't already done so, I want to encourage you to make a generous contribution to Countryside's Giving Tuesday campaign. If your experience is anything like mine, over the past few weeks, your email inbox has been filled with Giving Tuesday emails from every nonprofit you ever donated to, and some you've probably never even heard of. Admittedly, a few of those emails were from Countryside. But Countryside is not just another nonprofit organization. It's our beloved community. Think about what Countryside means to you. It provides each of us with a weekly ritual, emotional support, spiritual nurturing, intellectual curiosity, and prophetic inspiration to act on our values. In my mind, and I'm biased, excuse me, Countryside should be your Giving Tuesday priority. So if you haven't already contributed to Giving Tuesday campaign, please do so as soon as you can. You can do it physically by dropping a check in the basket as it's passed around, or virtually on your phone. And I have it on good authority that the only time Rev D doesn't mind somebody taking out their phone during the service is to make a donation. So take advantage of it, especially while her back's turned to you. Your generosity is a blessing. And now the morning offering will be gratefully received, either physically or virtually.
gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, the gift of mystery.